Imagine waking up to a world without the internet, without electricity, without functioning banks. What would you do if the entire digital infrastructure of a nation collapsed in an instant? The chain of events begins long before anyone notices that something is wrong. Somewhere, deep within the shadows of the global internet, code is already on the move, hidden within ordinary traffic, disguised as routine pings and harmless updates. It travels silently through servers, routers, and cables that circle the globe. Months of preparation culminate in mere seconds of execution. At 6:17 a.m., the first signs emerge. A banking app refuses to open, not an error message, just a ceaseless spinning wheel. Then, another bank goes offline, then another. Within minutes, millions of payment systems fail simultaneously. ATMs display a uniform message: service unavailable. Across major cities, traffic lights freeze, some stuck on red, others flickering before going dark. Commuters sit trapped in lines of unmoving cars, staring at intersections where order once prevailed. Above them, communication towers begin to fail one by one. Bars drop from 5 to 1, then vanish entirely. At home, Wi-Fi routers glow with their familiar lights, yet no device connects. Social media apps crash without explanation. Email services time out. News websites refuse to load. People refresh their screens repeatedly, hoping it's temporary, a glitch, a storm, a server outage. But it's not. This is the moment of impact, spreading rapidly. Before the public even comprehends that a catastrophic event has begun, the attack has already infiltrated deeper into the nation's veins. Electrical substations shut down silently, no sparks, no noise, as software commands overwrite manual controls. Water treatment plants lose automation. Pumps stop. Pressure drops. Alarms go unanswered because alert systems rely on the same digital networks now in freefall. Within the first 30 minutes, emergency call centers are overwhelmed. My power went out. My card doesn't work. Traffic lights are down. My phone just died. Yet dispatchers cannot get answers either. Systems freezing in place. And that is when confusion becomes fear. In the absence of information, the human mind fills the silence with its own, often worse, explanations. And this is only the beginning. 12 hours into the cyber attack, the nation is no longer facing a series of strange glitches. It is confronting a full-scale technological paralysis. What began as scattered outages has evolved into a complete collapse of systems that hold daily life together. Without traffic lights, intersections resemble abandoned movie sets. Cars sit stranded, drivers having long since stepped out to seek answers. In some cities, commuters begin the long walk home, stepping across lanes of stalled vehicles as if crossing a frozen river. GPS apps are useless. No maps, no signals, no directions. Delivery trucks, normally the hidden machinery keeping supermarkets stocked, have stopped entirely. Their routes depend on digital manifests, automated fuel systems, and real-time logistics platforms. Without them, drivers are stranded with cargo they cannot deliver. No instructions on where to go. Airports shut down first. Every plane on the ground stays grounded. Every plane in the air is ordered to land as soon as possible. Radar systems fail. Electronic communication with control towers becomes unstable. Flight management software goes dark. Thousands of passengers find themselves in terminals where lights, air conditioning, and payment systems have ceased functioning. Then comes the quiet. Cell networks fail completely. Millions of signals once bouncing through the air vanish. Calls drop instantly. Messages go undelivered. Emergency alerts fail to reach devices that need them most. Neighborhoods, towns, and entire cities become isolated islands, unsure of what is happening beyond their immediate surroundings. In that silence, the first survival instincts awaken. Families rush to the nearest grocery stores, hoping to stock up before things worsen. But without functioning payment processors, the doors are effectively closed. Some stores attempt cash-only sales, but quickly run out of essentials: bottled water, canned food, basic medicine. Frustration mounts. Lines stretch around buildings, not moving. At home, faucets drip as pressure weakens. Water treatment plants reliant on automated systems are offline. Reservoirs drain. A few households fill bathtubs, pots, and bottles. Most do not, still expecting a system recovery in a matter of hours. Emergency services operate in name only. Fire departments cannot receive location data. Police radios fail. Hospitals struggle as backup generators run equipment that cannot be repaired or updated without digital diagnostics. 12 hours in, the country is no longer confused. It is stunned, caught between disbelief and dawning realization. Every action from this point shapes the hours to follow. By the 24th hour, the digital silence evolves into a heavier, physical stillness across cities, towns, and rural areas alike. For the first time in generations, Americans wake to a morning without the hidden machinery that makes life effortless. No alerts, no updates, no news, only uncertainty. Day one begins with a quiet scramble for resources. Crowds gather in grocery stores, not rioting, but realizing essentials are finite. Managers attempt cash transactions, but few people carry enough to cover more than a day or two of supplies. Within an hour, shelves holding bottled water, bread, rice, canned foods, and baby formula are bare. Lines inside the aisles grow into parking lots. Gas stations collapse faster. Modern pumps need digital control. Most cannot dispense fuel. Manual override pumps at older stations create lines stretching for blocks. Arguments break out over ounces, the difference between getting home or being stranded. Across the country, chaos rises. Insulin, antibiotics, blood pressure medications, items requiring digital logging can no longer be tracked. Refrigeration runs on emergency generators with limited fuel. Pharmacists do their best, but supplies vanish faster than they can be organized. Law enforcement attempts order, but without communication, backup is unreliable, and dispatchers cannot update units. Every incident becomes isolated. Looting erupts in pockets, often where desperation hits first. A pharmacy window broken, a hardware store forced open. Word of mouth spreads tension further. Fear and survival blur. Yet, even amidst chaos, community emerges. Neighbors knock on doors. Some share flashlights, candles, bottled water, or rice. Apartment lobbies transform into planning centers. Families form networks to gather information, pool aid, and watch vulnerable residents. Survival in these first 24 hours depends less on possessions, more on trust. Day one is only the start. Harder hours lie ahead. By the second morning, the crisis stops feeling temporary. What began as an outage, then a disruption, has become a new, unsettling reality. 24 hours without power feels survivable. 48 hours reveal modern society's fragility. Hospitals reach breaking points first. Backup generators cannot run full facilities indefinitely. Fuel reserves shrink. Critical machines fail. Nurses hand-pump ventilators. Electronic medical records are gone, leaving doctors scrambling. Emergency rooms overflow with complications from routine conditions. Diabetic crashes, asthma attacks, blood pressure spikes. Sanitation breaks down. Minor infections escalate. Water contamination begins as treatment plants fail. Local authorities advise boiling water, yet many homes lack power. Clean drinking water becomes a luxury. Government response is limited. Federal agencies attempt coordination, But even capable institutions rely on crippled digital systems. Emergency operation centers revert to analog radios, satellite phones, and handwritten directives, once backups, now lifelines. National Guard units deploy, hindered by fuel shortages and failed logistics. Rumors fill the void. Some believe the blackout is local, others global. Days pass, but many expect restoration within hours. Lack of verified information becomes psychological stress. People retreat into fear and speculation. Social norms weaken. Cash becomes the only currency, then loses value. Bartering begins. Batteries, clean water, gasoline, medicine, more valuable than money. Strangers measure trust and caution with each interaction. Families face emotional strain. Children ask when the internet returns. Adults pretend knowledge. Hour by hour, control slips. By the end of day 2, survival, not inconvenience, is the reality. When day 3 dawns, the nation enters a new phase, no longer reacting, but living inside collapse. Shock fades, fear settles, adaptation remains. Economically, damage is unprecedented. Digital infrastructure loss halts financial markets, freezes credit, halts payroll. Businesses cannot order supplies, process transactions, or communicate. Global commerce trembles, shipping halts, planes grounded, routine life dissolves, trash accumulates, water services degrade, food spoils without refrigeration, emergency services struggle, law enforcement limited. Neighborhood watch groups emerge, panic shifts to local governance, prepared families, those with water filters, radios, generators, cash, food reserves, fare better. Not due to predicting cyber war, but understanding universal truth. Systems fail. Those unprepared rely on strangers, leaders, luck. Societies fray, bend, and reorganize. Ham radios become communication hubs. Schools convert to community centers. Fire stations host water distribution. Volunteers provide first aid. Human resilience persists. Recovery, however, is daunting. Rebuilding digital infrastructure after a coordinated attack takes months, not hours. Systems must be cleaned, isolated, replaced, and resecured. Power grids reset manually. Banks restore corrupted databases. Water and sanitation plants recalibrated. For individuals, the lesson is clear. Survival begins long before the attack. Non-digital skills, navigation, first aid, tool use, water purification, face-to-face coordination, preparedness, food, water, lighting, offline communication, and mindset, the ability to stay calm as the familiar world rewrites itself. As day 3 ends, the nation stands at a crossroads: rebuild, adapt, and learn, or remain vulnerable. Once the lights go out, the true test is not the attack,